Hello, my name is Mitch Cohen and I chair the school building committee in Douglas, and today we're going to go on a tour of our brand new, in progress, new elementary school. Behind me you will see what is from the inside, what most people haven't seen, the inside of the site. If you've driven by the primary school, or the existing elementary school, we call it the primary, and the intermediate elementary school, you'll see the new building from the other side of where we are standing. So this is the construction area. To the far left is the gym, and you'll see the current elementary school further along. And along the first floor, you'll see the cafeteria and the just hallway on the first floor, and then classrooms on the second and third floor. And we're going to go inside and take a look. So we've spared no expense in front entrances. You'll see our fine plywood entranceway. Only kidding, of course that'll be replaced. Come on in. So we've walked into the entrance that kids would use getting off the school bus. We're going to have two main entrances in the new elementary school with a driveway on either side of the building. The opposite side, which is straight ahead, you can't really see the doorway too well yet, is the drop-off and pickup. So when parents drop off their kids, they'll go in on this side. Over to the right, there's a stairway, which will take one of those stairs in a few minutes, but let's wander along this way. Careful walking. This is an active construction site. We are here after hours, so I don't know if we'll see any activity. Obviously, folks bring their cooking appliances and whatever else they need to get through their day. This is the offices area, so you have the principals, assistant principals' offices, nurses area, guidance, and so forth on this end of the building, this wing. Down this way is a hallway that'll take you to the cafeteria and by some storage rooms and technical support rooms. Let me know if it looks like I'm getting tight with the wire or anything. So within the last few weeks, a lot of this drywall on the first floor has come up. We're actually starting with the third floor and working our way down. Classrooms are the more complex areas of the building, so they wanted to start with the classrooms, which are second and third floor, and work to some of the larger spaces last. So we're going to walk this direction over here. This is towards our library. Media center is the newfangled current term. It's a nice large library, about 3,600 square feet, comprised of a few different areas. Rather than one big box, there will be one area for students in a class to kind of sit by themselves and work, whether it be on a computer or some books, and stacks of books in this area over here. And I believe over here is where we'll have the check-in, check-out desk, with a couple of storage areas related to the library over here. Follow me. Okay, so we're going to leave our media center and walk towards the cafeteria. Follow me. So if you look back over here just to keep yourself oriented, that's where we walked into the building. So this is that hallway that we saw when we first came in. Now we're walking into the cafeteria. We have some portable heaters now, which are not only important to keep the workers comfortable, but to begin the process of drying out the concrete and maintaining the proper temperature that's needed for all the finishes in the building. Obviously, as we install the final HVAC system, these get taken out. They're a little noisy now, so I hope you can hear me all right. This is the seating area of the cafeteria. Up here where you see all the spools of cable is a platform stage that kids can use for putting on little plays and things like that. That's very similar to what we have in the cafetorium of the existing elementary school. You can see there's a nice wide open space. What you will eventually see through the windows out there are the play fields. Where the trailers are will be the lower fields. Between here and there will be a driveway. We'll have two, I think they're U8 soccer fields. And then we'll see it from upstairs. We'll see where the new track will be. I'm going to walk through here. This is now entering the mechanical room. We'll just show this for a second because it's not terribly exciting, although it's obviously very important. Watch your step coming through here. So we are underneath the gym of the building, and I think we walk around this way, we can see a little bit more. Yep, follow me. We've got another heater up ahead, so it's getting a little loud. So all these rooms back here are for different pieces of mechanical equipment and storage. And back here is the part of the heating system, the oil burners and some pumps and so forth. I won't claim to know in detail what all these things do, but we've got people on staff who do, which is good. The electrical room, back over here. Generator, panels, so forth. We're still on temporary power in the building. It'll be a while before electricity runs through the walls. Back this way. Let's continue on. Watch your step. This is the elevator shaft. Elevator gets installed a bit later. So now we're going to go into the music room, which, if you want to spin yourself around for a second, through the metal studs that obviously will get covered up, you see the platform for the cafeteria that we saw a few minutes ago, and then looking out to the future play fields. This is the music room. Should be a real nice facility. And looking through here, you'll see into the art room that we'll go into in a minute. Obviously, metal studs get covered up. Come on. point out one of the many things that the architects and the project manager insist upon of the construction workers, which are devices to keep track of temperature and humidity in the building. That's important again for drying of the concrete and all the other finished materials. So we have several of those scattered throughout the building, and even some embedded in the concrete. Let's take a look in the art room. Not too exciting just yet. Again, these large spaces are some of the simpler ones to complete, so they're happening a little bit later. If you look through the window over here, you'll see the existing connector road between the intermediate school and the elementary school. That will remain essentially as it is. During the summer months, we'll be cleaning up the area in front and completing the entranceway and sidewalks and everything. And again, so you maintain the orientation, looking down here is into the second part of the library towards the area where we walked into the building. All right, let's head toward the stairs. We go up this way, yeah. Ooh, it's nice and warm. Okay, watch your step up here. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll just pretty much roll.
Yeah.
Maybe just chop out anything, you know.
No, I think it's good to guide the folks through. So now we're walking up to the second floor, right near the gym. Now the gym is another area that is sort of being held until the end, because that's the biggest and simplest area of the building. So we'll walk there and take a look. Ooh, again, our high-class doorways. Welcome to the gym of the new elementary school. Still have a couple of windows to go in up there, and other than that, it should be nice. You see an area that sticks out a little bit to the outside there. That is for some small bleacher stands, 3 rows if I remember right. Should seat about 100 people. We wanted some comfortable seating for parents. That was off the base of the gym floor, but we didn't want to go too crazy with it. So this will come along very quickly once they're ready with some other areas. Watch your step. That, I believe, is the office for the gym teachers. Through there, we're not going to bother going in there. The restrooms, they're not too far along with these restrooms. I think we'll see some in the classroom wing. We've got some small classrooms here, and somewhere in there is a teacher meeting room. Now we'll start to see the finish getting a little bit better. If I remember right, this is the OT and PT section, and one of the nicer windows, at least one of the nicer views, that has an angle. You can see the whole this part of the campus. Look up that way, you'll see the existing elementary school, which, if you'll remember, will be renamed the primary school when we're done with this project, and preschool, kindergarten, and first grade will be in there. grades 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be in this building, and 6, 7, and 8 will be in the intermediate school. And down that way, you can't quite see the intermediate school, but you can get pretty close. So this would be a good room to monitor traffic if that's your sort of thing. So walk to the second floor main hallway, just straight ahead. Let's take a look inside a random classroom. We'll see a couple of classrooms upstairs that are even further along, but they've done quite a bit of work in here. Most of the classroom drywall is up. They've obviously started some painting, which is nice. We've picked some, what I think are some nice colors. Give it some life without being too vivid. When we get upstairs, I'll be able to show you a little bit more about how the classrooms will be organized. Essentially, all classrooms in the building are exactly the same. Some are mirrors of each other. I'm going to keep an eye out. I've been told that they recently installed some bathroom fixtures along here, which is very exciting. These are taped off because they just put in the floor today. So that's drying. It's a small teacher conference room. Now this is a little feature that I like quite a bit right here. It's a little bench. We have 2 or 3 of these in the building, and these are for students or even teachers to sit down when they need a little break, whether it be during a class or between classes. Good place for maybe kids to sit and relax if they're all waiting to get into the restroom or down to the cafeteria. We've got a big fan going there, so hopefully this isn't too noisy. Let's take a walk upstairs, see the 3rd floor. Now the 3rd floor is essentially a mirror image of the 2nd floor. There's obviously no second gym up there, but classrooms are pretty much the same. But as I said, are further along because we started up on the 3rd floor. We're building this building for a capacity of, if I remember right, 552 students is the number that we got from the state based on their estimates, which I hope will be sufficient for a long time, because as much fun as this is, I don't want to see the town have to do this again anytime soon. So welcome to the 3rd floor. We'll go to one of the classrooms over here on the right. See another bench in here. So this is a room on the 3rd floor that we call our mock classroom setup. What we wanted to do was provide one classroom that everything would happen in first. So the architects and the school department, even the IT director in the school could take a look and make sure everything was installed properly, all the wiring was in the right location, before we finalized everything. So the drywall went up in here first, the wiring came in before that first, and then once everything was signed off in this room, we went ahead and duplicated it everywhere else. So what you'll see over here behind this cardboard are little cubbies and coat hangers for the kids, storage area up on top, so the kids have a place to put their things, their boots, their backpacks, whatever they bring in with them, and be out of the way, but still be visible. Walk over here, this is a teacher workroom area. So this is a teacher's surface. Be a chair here, computer connection, so forth. This is an elementary school where it's appropriate to have a sink, so just about every classroom has a sink. You'll see storage here, and this is one of my favorite features of our classrooms. Storage is always at a premium in a school, but you also need whiteboards. So what we've done is there will be rolling whiteboards that cover these cabinets, and it'll be able to slide out of the way for storage and slide back into place for use for teaching. There's a teaching wall. I think particularly the teachers will appreciate that. And over here will be another teaching wall. This will probably be the main teaching wall for most teachers. This will have a smart board, it's called an Eno Polyvision board. It's a little different than the smart boards we have in the high school, where you can write on them with regular dry erase pens, but it also comes with a little magic wand that keeps track of where you're writing, and it transmits that information to the computers. And then the computers will remember everything that you've written, so you could play that back for students that missed the class or want to review the material. We will have right above that what's called an ultra short throw computer projector that will, most projectors that you've seen are probably 10 feet away from a screen and hanging down a little bit, and if you stand over here you end up with a big shadow behind your head. So the ultra short throws are new, and they shine directly down onto the screen, so they generate essentially no shadow, and that's one of the more recent innovations in classroom technology, which we're taking advantage of. If we look out here, we've got a nice view of the intermediate elementary school, which will be renamed the middle school when we're done with our project. You'll see on top of that the roofs are white on this end of the building and dark gray on the further part of the building. Over this summer we replaced the roofs on this half of the building, and when we get in and do the major part of the renovation work in the intermediate school, we'll be replacing the roof as well as the mechanical equipment in the other half. Classrooms are paired, so you'll be able to walk between any two, so teachers can talk to each other, keep an eye on each other if one needs to get out for a minute. Schools are incredibly complicated buildings. There's an incredible amount of work that's gone into the design and construction of all of the wiring and pipes and everything else that go through here. It's very, very impressive, the work that's been done. Come on this way and I'll show you one of my favorite views outside the building. So a hallway looking down the third floor. As I said, not too much different than the second floor. The way the use will be structured, we'll have 2 grades up on the top floor and 2 on the other. I'm seeing more and more of the finished work and shelving going into some of the classrooms, if you spot that walking by. That's pretty new. Again, once we approved everything in the mock classrooms, they work it out pretty quickly. Yeah, I'd say actually all the classrooms up here look to have the cabinetry in place now. That's great. Actually, let's go take a look out here. So what I want to show you here is the window. Look out here, that large clearing is where our new track will be. Because our bids came in well under budget, we were able to afford the track surface, which was an alternate. Otherwise, we'd only pay for it if budget allowed. Inside that will be a full-size regulation soccer field. Some folks have asked whether we could have a football field there. It will be sufficient size for the football field. We're not buying any goalposts, but if the town ever fielded its own football team, we'd be able to do that there. There won't be too much area for stands, some, not a lot, and there will be all of the appropriate track areas in there for shot put and javelin and so forth. And what you'll see closer is the roadway, which is mostly in place now for construction vehicles. Obviously the final coat will be will be done when they're done making a mess of things. And I don't remember if we have too much else, but let's finish up on the third floor. See what we find. Pardon the noisy fan. Careful. So through there is roof access above just above the second floor, and lets you lead up to roof access to the third floor. Obviously not for students, but important to have easy access for the mechanicals for repairs and maintenance. Watch your step. It's important in all modern buildings that the stairwells have a lot of glass, and that's for security. So if anything suspicious does happen, which you don't want it to, but it could, folks from the outside can keep an eye on things very easily. Let's go all the way down. Walking the same stairwell we came up, actually. Take a look and see if this is open now. So, again, just to orient yourself, this is looking out to the existing connector road. They haven't done any of the exterior work along this side of the building. That'll be done this summer when school's not in session, because it will disrupt that road for at least a little while. So again, we're passing by the music room and art room that we saw before. Some bathrooms here. Let's see if they've done any work in here yet. I'm gonna guess no, not these. Nope. But this will be one of the restrooms near the cafeteria. Watch your step. Back in here, I think this is the head end, the electronic center of the building. Yep, not too much is in here yet. These pipes coming up out of the floor is conduit, and this will lead all of the data wiring throughout the entire building, and we also have some conduit headed to outside so we can interconnect our buildings with fiber and get all the data stuff in and out as necessary. It'll be all the servers. Actually, one of the interesting things we did to save a few bucks was because both the new building that we're in now as well as the intermediate school that we're repairing are adjacent to each other, We're running fiber between them, and what you just saw is going to be the main server room for both buildings. So from a technology standpoint, it's one building, even though they're two separate, and that saves the cost of buying a lot of duplicate servers and other equipment. We'll have one telephone system for both buildings. That was a nice efficiency that the designers came up with. Well, I think that roughly does it. Yeah, what? Let's walk through the offices. Let's take a look. We haven't seen that yet. I'm going to cheat for a second because I forget which office is which. So the large office over here on the right is the principal's office, and this is a spare office for an assistant principal or anybody else. Down here we've got the Title I office and a teacher's lunchroom. That's what this room will eventually be. Obviously it's headquarters for some of the builders. Another temperature and humidity monitoring device. That one's not too fancy. Most of them record information. Walk down here towards the nurse's office. Beds. You know what? I don't want to move these things out of the way, so just take a peek and trust me that it's the nurse's area. And let's walk out the same door where we came in. Well, I guess that does it. Thank you very much for taking the time to take the tour with me today. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll try to do another one of these as the project starts to wrap up, and that I would anticipate somewhere in the month of August of this year, 2013, that we'll be able to have a ribbon cutting ceremony and bring the public through, and I can't wait for that. That'll be very exciting. Guess that about does it. Again, my name is Mitch Cohen. I chair the School Building Committee, and have a wonderful day.